Thank you for joining us for First Chapter Fridays. For this week's edition, we are going to listen to The Boy Who Lived with Dragons by Andy Shepard. So sit back, relax, and use your imagination as we listen to the first chapter of this book. Welcome, all you dragon-seeking desperados. I'm guessing you've picked this book up for one of two reasons. Either you've been hearing about how we grow dragons and you want to get in on all that juicy, fire-breathing action, in which case you need to go find yourself one of these, a dragon fruit tree. Or you've found yourself a dragon fruit tree already, hatched yourself a dragon, and now have no clue what to do next. How do I know this? Because neither did we. After I found the dragon fruit tree in Granddad's garden, and Flicker, that's my dragon, hatched out in my bedroom, things changed pretty quickly. Not just because it sort of affects how you look at the world. I mean, if you can find a dragon in your bedroom on an otherwise normal Sunday, what else is possible? But also because he wasn't the only one. Not after my best friends, Ted, Kat, and Kaya, decided they wanted one too. But just like you would be, we were too busy getting ourselves dragons to really wonder what having a dragon would actually be like. I bet it all sounds magical, doesn't it? Growing a dragon? And it totally is, don't get me wrong. But let me tell you, when the fire breathing really kicks in, you're getting singed every 5 seconds. It's like having a very unpredictable volcano in your pocket. Then it all starts to feel a bit less magical. Just something to bear in mind, my dragon devotees. Get some oven mitts. Be prepared to hide your ripped up pants. And above all, listen up. Because I'm about to show you what living with dragons is really like. Chapter 1, Soloris the Destroyer. My underpants, Ted cried as I opened the door. Grab them! Okay, I know it's not what you usually expect your best friend to say when you walk into their room, but listen, once you have a dragon, you need to be prepared for anything. I can't lose another pair out the window. That'll be the 4th in 2 days, he wailed. I ducked as Sunny, Ted's golden dragon, swooped over my head. He crawled into Ted's underpants and was wearing them like battle armor. A fiery blast shot out and scorched the lampshade as the dragon circled above us. Flicker had been happily curled up in my pocket, but now he wiggled his way out. He hovered beside me while I tried to grab the underpants before they disappeared out of the open window. They better be clean, I wheezed, dropping them and coughing on the trails of smoke the dragon's breath had left behind. They were until he got in them, Ted moaned. Now they're probably singed, or worse. We both knew what he meant by worse. You see, dragon poop has this pretty unpleasant habit of exploding when it dries out. And sure enough, seconds later, Ted's underpants detonated spectacularly. Sunny zipped up to the top of the wardrobe, while we stood there with foul-smelling shreds raining down on us. So, things going okay then? I grinned. You know, among the exploding poop and being on 24-hour scorch alert. Ted burst out laughing. Well, that's Sonny for you. Ted had actually named his dragon Soloris the Destroyer. I think he was imagining him as his superhero sidekick and wanted to give him a name that could conjure fear in all Ted's enemies. Or at least in Liam Swanston, who was our arch nemesis. Not that we were about to share the secret of the dragons with him. We were spending most of our time trying to make sure that nosy Nellie didn't find out about the dragons. But let's face it, having a dragon called Soloris the Destroyer in your pocket kind of gave you a bit of an edge. Anyway, Soloris the Destroyer only lasted a day because by his second morning, Ted had decided to call him Sonny. Officially, this is because Sonny is his dragon's alter ego. Like Spider-Man is actually Peter Parker? But really, and this is just between us, it's because Ted is scared of the dark. And Sonny is the best night light ever. The little dragon curls up next to him and glows, casting comforting orange light around the room. So Ted ended up feeling he was far too friendly for a name like Soloris the Destroyer. But like I said, that's just between us. I was going to call my dragon Scorch after the first night I got him, when he singed everything in sight. But the thing is, he changes color. He flickers. So Flicker just suited him. Most of the time he's red, although even then, he can't always decide what shade to be, so he ends up shimmering through bright crimson all the way to deep ruby. When he's settling down to sleep on my sister Loli's lap, his scales rippled turquoise, a colorful quiver of contentment. But if Tom, our cat, starts stalking him, he flares electric orange. The best thing is when I lie in bed with him curled up next to me, and he starts glowing like a hot ember, and I fall asleep with him warming my dreams. Where have Kat and Kaya got to? Ted asked. The twins, the other two members of our superhero squad, were always late, and so it was no surprise that they still hadn't appeared. In fact, now they had 2 dragons to contend with. They had the perfect excuse. Ted's stomach gurgled like an angry drain, and he grinned apologetically. What do you mean is, where have the snacks got to? I said. Well, yeah, those 2. I can't keep anything edible in my room these days. Not when I leave Sonny in here on his own. Did you know a blue whale eats the equivalent of 6,000 chocolate bars a day? Well, I reckon Sonny would have a good go at smashing that record if I let him try. Flicker, who settled next to me, sneezed, sending a glittery spray of sparks into the air. As usual, thanks to my lightning reflexes, they were all snuffed out before they even landed. Impressive, nodded Ted. Sonny's less into the nonstop sparking. He's more of a one-blast kind of dragon, and he usually only does it when he's eaten. Honestly, he has the most fiery farts. And talk about an explosive burp. Didn't you say he eats all the time? I said, looking around his room and realizing there was less evidence of burning than you might expect. Yeah, Ted said with a shrug, but mostly I can tell it's coming and point the right end outside in time. before he causes too much damage. That's why I have to hide the snacks. If I know when he's eaten, I know roughly when he's likely to blow up. It wasn't foolproof, though, as we were about to find out. That completes the first chapter of The Boy Who Lived with Dragons. Stop by the library to pick up the book to find out how the story ends. Thank you for joining us this week. I hope you join us for our next edition of First Chapter Fridays.